We've had a very interesting development over the last, 4 hours? When did you report that Sam Darnold was likely to stay in college?
It was actually yesterday.
Okay.
It was actually yesterday. A USC source told me that Sam Darnold was heavily leaning toward staying at USC, getting his degree before he came out, and was, quote, unlikely to leave USC for the draft after this year. He has not made a final decision per se, but this source, who is very plugged in and very tuned in, would not have told me that without that kind of information. He's been spot on before. So I think that Sam is probably surveying the landscape, looking at where he would wind up. Right now that would probably be Cleveland, and saying, you know what, let me go get my degree, let me go back to school. Being the starting quarterback at USC, guys, that's a hard thing to give up. I think people don't realize the lifestyle that you get from that kind of stuff, and I think that people who are worried about him losing money or losing value, a la Matt Barkley, don't realize that Matt Barkley wasn't viewed as the #1 overall pick except by the media. Scouts told him to stay in school, and scouts are telling Sam Darnold the same thing: stay in school.
Yeah, and look, Matt Leinart, who also USC Trojan, did the same thing. We saw Andrew Luck stay in school to get his degree, did the same thing. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks do that, and to be quite honest with you, quarterbacks that do that end up having a greater level of success at the NFL level. So that's the report from Ben. That sparked this today from Colin Cowherd on his national radio show.
Darnold is expected to stay in school and
Who said
return
that?
to USC.
Who said that?
This is Benjamin Allbright.
Who's that?
A reporter. And he says that a USC source tells him that Darnold is unlikely to leave this year. Hasn't been as good this year as he was last year. So do you think he should stay in? Or, I mean, you got the Browns. Do you want to go play for the Browns?
Listen, first of all, I'll be breaking that story.
That's what I thought. I said, who is this Benjamin Allbright man? Because I thought Colin was supposed to break this story.
Okay, he's a radio host in Denver. Well, he's well connected there. Okay.
You don't know. Maybe he went to USC.
So what? So do a lot of people. They don't have a relationship with Sam Darnold.
So you are convinced that you will be breaking this story?
No.
Did you call and tell him that he
No,
has to break it
I'm not
with you?
I'm not gonna bother him with it. He hasn't made up his mind yet. I'm not gonna bother his family. They're too dignified for a dope like me to break the story. All these people are guessing and don't know anything. I don't even know who Benny is, but nobody knows anything. Nobody knows. Denver guy's probably the best radio guy Denver's ever had. He doesn't know anything. Nobody knows anything on it. And if anybody does, I'll know the story.
So what do you know now? I
don't know it. No, I'm not going to bother that family in the middle of the season. That's not my role. That would be intrusive and gross.
What do you think he should do?
I'll keep it to myself for a while.
Really?
It's called suspense.
But you have an opinion.
It could change, but let's just watch the rest of the season. I'm not going to disrupt. In Philadelphia, they say trust the process. Don't disrupt the process. It's not my job.
This is very rare, though, for you.
What?
To not say something because you don't want it to, affect that person.
Yeah.
So
well, he's a college kid, so I'm not going to get in the way and be a dope.
I appreciate that. I'm glad that you're doing it. It's just very rare for you.
All right.
And finally...
All right, so there's Colin Cowherd on his national radio show saying, you're not going to break that story, I'm going to break that story. I'll sit back, say what you want to say, Ben, because look, we've known each other long enough. I know that when you report a story, it's with good reason. You don't make this stuff up. So let's say what you want to say.
Colin, if you want to meet me at camera one. Look, Colin's a professional. He's been in this business a long time, and I don't think anybody else could have made as great a career as he had in marrying up the voice of Chris Collinsworth with the opinions of Skip Bayless. But in the end, Colin, you don't have the monopoly on news, and if you're going to break that story just because you're close with Sam, you're not the only person close with Sam. I happen to have some information here, and I beat you to it. Don't be mad at it. This is petty, this is stupid, and I am going to take your quote that I'm the greatest radio host Denver has ever had and run with it.
All right, there you go. Hearing from, according to Colin Cowherd.
This is not even remotely true, but I'm going to run with it.
Hey, if
that's what I heard.
If Colin Cowherd, who's never listened to Denver radio, says it, it must be true.
Right.